Greetings, greetings. Happy Wednesday. I'm Nicole Everett, host of Conversations with Nicole. And this is a special edition of Conversations with Nicole. I am doing candidate meet and greets. And today's special guest is none other than our illustrious Mayor John Dailey, the mayor of the city of Tallahassee. He is the incumbent, and we are going to have an intimate conversation. So I want you all to let us know where you are tuning in from. If you are here in Tallahassee, especially, I want you to tag a family member or a friend that is also in Tallahassee because this is an important election, a very, very important election. And this is an opportunity for you to meet and greet the mayor and ask your questions and express your concerns. So, again, like, share, tag, let them know they need to be in here. They need to be in here. So while you all are doing that, I am going to read just a little bit of his bio. So, Mayor John Dailey has dedicated his professional life to building strong, vibrant communities. He is the son of Dr. John Scott Dailey, the former executive director of the Florida Institute of Government and a former two-term Leon County School Board member. He began his professional career working for the Florida League of Cities, representing over 400 municipal governments before the Florida legislature and administration. He also represented municipal governments across the nation before the U.S. Congress and administration while working for the National League of Cities in Washington, D.C. He received his bachelor's degree in political science from Florida State University, go Noles, where he served as president of the SGA. He received his first master's degree in public administration from FSU and went on to receive a second master's in urban and regional planning from the London School of Economics. He returned to Tallahassee in 2005 and founded JDA Strategies, a research and development consulting firm focused on local governance. And in 2006, he was elected to the Leon County Commission by the citizens of District 3 and was reelected twice without opposition. He served as chair of the Leon County Commission twice, and he's a graduate of Leadership Tallahassee and Leadership Florida. He was elected mayor of the city of Tallahassee in 2018. So help me welcome our mayor, Mayor John Dailey.
Hey, Nicole, how are you?
Hey, I'm well, I'm well, I'm well. Thank you for being here.
Okay, hey, bucket list. I've made it. I'm on Conversations with Nicole. I've made it.
Oh my God.
I am
Don't
famous,
even.
and
You
I
know
am
what?
here.
You have been on here before, just not by yourself. That's all.
That's
it
right.
was, so.
That's right. That's right. I've made
Well,
it to the next level.
indeed, indeed. We're
How are you
super
doing?
excited and delighted to have you here today. So I want you to tell the folks, and I do have a few folks that are chiming in. A couple of them are my relatives that don't live here. Denise, hey, 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 she's in Texas, and cousin Raymond is in Virginia. But we got Terrell, the chief.
Where in Virginia is your cousin?
My cousin is in the Hampton, Newport News area.
Yeah, my sister lives in Williamsburg.
Oh, that is right down the
How about
road.
that?
Yep, my dad is from Virginia.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So Terrell, right here in Tallahassee, he says, looking forward to tonight's conversation. All right. So, Mayor, tell the people who may not know you. I know I read your bio, but tell them who is John Dailey? Not what you do, but who are you?
Well, I am a product of Tallahassee. I am a husband. I am the father of two wonderful boys that are in middle school at Raw Middle School, and I'm a public servant. I grew up here in Tallahassee, and I love this community. And I just think the world of Tallahassee, and I want to give back. I figured out at an early age that I wanted to be in politics, and I wanted to be in governance. My father served on the school board. You mentioned that. So public policy discussions and what was going on in the community was part of our dinner table conversation. And I caught the bug. I was student body president at Florida State University, and that is how I met my lovely wife, Virginia. She was the vice president. In fact, Nicole, here is a piece of history that nobody knows. We are the only student body president and vice president that has served together that has gotten married. There's
Oh
another
my
couple, they served a
goodness.
year apart, but we're the only two that served together. And we have
Yeah.
been on an awesome journey. We're celebrating our 25th wedding anniversary later on this year in December. But I am that
Congratulations.
guy that wakes up.
That is quite the fun fact there. So
There
did
you
not
go.
know that. Thank you for sharing it. And congratulations on 25 years too.
There you go.
Yeah.
I appreciate you talking about my academic studies. I did undergraduate at Florida State, my first master's at Florida State. You are correct. Jenny and I lived in London for 2 years, where I studied at the London School of Economics and worked for a member of the British Parliament for 2 years. Jenny was practicing international law at the time. And when we moved back to the States, we lived in Washington, D.C. for 5 years, where I worked for the National League of Cities. And Jenny was practicing law before coming back to Tallahassee. And the reason why I mention this, Nicole, is everything I have ever studied has dealt with local governance. Everything I've done professionally deals with local governance, with the concentration in municipal government. And, my public service started off on the county because it was an open seat.
Okay.
But my goal in life has always been the mayor of Tallahassee. It's the best job. It's challenging. It's rewarding, all wrapped up into one.
So I think I got a mailer. I saw something that had a picture of you in the commission chambers and you were mayor for the day or something like that.
Say that one more time.
I think you were mayor for the day or something.
Okay. So here's the story. I'm in 8th grade at Raw Middle School, and YMCA had a youth and government program where they took 8th graders from every middle school in Tallahassee, brought us together, taught us about municipal government. We formed our own city government, and my colleagues elected me mayor for the day, mayor of that YMCA youth and government. And in fact, I've got the picture, you're correct, of when then Mayor Betty Harley was swearing me in mayor for the day. Fast forward to 3.5 years ago, and I stood literally 5 feet from the same spot and was sworn in as the real mayor of Tallahassee. And it's come full circle, and it's been a dream come true. And I absolutely love my job, and I love Tallahassee.
How neat is that?
Yeah.
I swear, the podium looked like it was the same.
Hey, let me tell you something. So my friends I grew up with, they always laugh. They look at that picture and they're like, Dailey, you haven't changed one bit. You look exactly the same. Now you're older, you got grayer hair, and you're a lot heavier, but you look exactly the same.
That is funny, but really neat. So we are going to talk around some of the issues that are important to you. Not that they all are, but you've expressed that these are particular issues that you wish to address. So affordable housing. Talk to me about affordable housing.
Yeah, affordable housing, we're in a crisis situation, much like just about every community across the United States. Mm-hmm. We need more affordable housing. Of course, in Tallahassee, excuse me, quite frankly, we need housing in every price point, but specifically affordable housing. Look, we're going to talk about job creation. We can create all the jobs that we possibly can here in Tallahassee, but if you can't afford to live in Tallahassee, then what's the purpose of creating all the jobs as well? If you got to drive 2 or 3 counties to get to Tallahassee to work, that defeats the purpose. So when I ran for mayor, Nicole, 3.5 years ago, one of the things I campaigned on was the need for the city of Tallahassee to create a strategic plan. And we have done so. Affordable housing is one of our top priorities in the strategic plan. In fact, I am pleased to tell you that right now, if we take a snapshot today, we have more affordable housing units in the pipeline of being permitted and built than we have had in the past 40 years combined.
Wow.
That's how much of a focus we have been able to place on affordable housing. So not only do we see the need to build, but we also have gotten very creative, Nicole, with our approach to the issue. I'll give you an example. So through land use, we look at some of our land use designations, and we've been working with the private industry. There's a couple of old motels in Tallahassee that you probably know are being renovated and converted into studio condominiums.
Yes.
So someone's first home might not be a single family house with a yard. Someone's first home might actually be this affordable studio, which is absolutely fantastic. Mm-hmm. So I am proud of the work that we've been able to do, not only with literally building new affordable. Look at what we're doing also down on Orange Avenue with the Tallahassee Housing Authority, but also getting really creative with our land use policies expediting our permits, and being able to convert an older product into new home ownership. It's really important.
It is. It is. It is. Yeah. So, having worked in affordable housing for many years, I recognize that there's not one solution. There are many tools that need to be in that toolkit.
Sure. And so my job, whether it's we're talking about affordable housing, whether we're talking about gun violence, whether we're talking about economic development, my job as mayor is to continue to be the mayor that brings everyone to the table, gives everyone the voice, allows everybody the opportunity to bring their ideas, no matter where you come from or what your background might be. It's important that you have leadership in your mayor that will continue to move the community forward by bringing the community together. That's where we get these great creative ideas, Nicole. That's where we have the opportunity to go, I've never thought of that before. That's great. And so I love the interaction with the public. I love when people are passionate about issues and they want to help their community.
Indeed, indeed. So, for those of you who are just joining us, I have the mayor of the city of Tallahassee on with me, John Dailey, for an interactive meet and greet. And so, I encourage you to put your comments and questions in the chat. But we are talking right now about a few of the issues, the topics that are important to him. So, we just talked about affordable housing, but I know that also job creation is important to you as well. So, talk to us a little bit about job creation and what you believe some of the solutions are.
Yes, ma'am. Look, we can talk about any aspects of the holistic approach to poverty. Okay, whether it's housing, mental health, physical health, and I truly believe that one of the first positive steps that we can do is create great paying jobs in our community to give people the economic opportunity to earn a living, to be able to buy a house, be able to provide for their family. And so it's been a major focus for the city commission. I am pleased to say, Nicole, that if you take another snapshot today, we have one of the fastest growing economies per capita of any municipality in the state of Florida. Not many people realize that. Last year alone, we were able to create with the private sector over 5,000 great paying jobs. We had over $850 million of private investment in our community. That is outstanding. And if you look at what we're doing out at the airport, not only with the international facility, but also the private industry that's interested in developing out there, it's a game changer, not only for the city and the county, but for the region. So it's really exciting what we have been able to accomplish, even with the challenges of a global pandemic, even with the challenges of some of the other issues that we've been dealing with, that we have got such a strong economy, one of the strongest in the state of Florida. We've got great private investment here in Tallahassee. We're recruiting and creating great jobs, and the future is really bright. So we are going to continue to aggressively work with the private sector, expand our economy, attract new businesses to town, and be able to provide those economic opportunities. And Nicole, I think one of the reasons why we've had such success is that our secret is out. People now are starting to figure out Tallahassee is one of the greatest places to live, work, and play. Nicole, for the second year in a row, we've been named one of the top 10 cities in the southeastern United States. For the second year in a row, we've been named one of the top 10 college towns in the southeastern United States. We have the #1 public utilities. We're nationally recognized for our parks and our trail system, nationally recognized for our natural beauty and for our environmental efforts. And now we're being nationally recognized for a great place to get a job, to start over if you want, to raise a family. And so our secret's out. And I think it's really exciting.
It is exciting. So I know that Amazon was a big deal in terms of it coming to town. Talk to us a little bit about what the economic impact will be as it relates to Amazon coming to Tallahassee.
Yeah, it's going to be great, and it's really important. They are bringing a lot of great paying jobs. They're starting the most basic job from the very bottom starts off at $15 an hour with full benefits. And that's incredible because that also adds to the competition in Tallahassee and it allows other organizations and businesses to go, in order to keep pace, we've got to stay competitive as well. I'll give you a prime example. If you look at what McDonald's has already done in Tallahassee, they now offer full benefits and college tuition, to my understanding, after you've worked there for 3 months. So you're seeing the economy keep up with the standard that Amazon has sought and has created here in Tallahassee. They're a great company. We look forward to them opening their doors. I look forward to them expanding. I look forward to talking to them about opportunities at the airport as well with their air shipment side of the company. So I think that we're going to have a great relationship with Amazon. Looking forward to doing everything we can to ensure their success.
Indeed, indeed. All right. So let's see, violent crime. That was another issue
Sure.
you expressed. So let's talk a little bit about violent crime. I know that it's been a challenge in some, specific neighborhoods in Tallahassee. So talk to me about your thoughts on that and what are some of the solutions.
I think violent crime is one of those issues that we are dealing with in Tallahassee, but quite frankly, every community across the United States is dealing with violent crime right now as well. And again, it's important that you have a mayor that can show true leadership and bring everybody to the table so that we can work together to move Tallahassee forward. So first of all, let's talk about what is working in our community. The city does have great programs. Tempo is one. If you think about it, we have aggressively sought after and recruited at-risk youth to the Tempo program. We've helped them get their GED. We've helped them with job experience. We pay them as an internship. We help them get them back on their feet. Now, we just graduated over 1,000 students from the Tempo program. Over half of them had some type of brush with law enforcement coming into the program. Nicole, we've had zero recidivism. It is nationally recognized for its excellence. When you look at the Tallahassee Future Leaders Academy that we do with our students and the internship that gives them broad exposure across the city of Tallahassee as a government and in the private industry, it's a success. And that's just within the city itself. So it's important that we recognize these programs that are working and we continue to expand them so that we can reach more students and make sure that those at-risk individuals know that there's opportunity available and that you have a community that cares, that we love them, and we want to help them get back on their feet. Now, we also realize that we have problems. When we look at the anatomy of a homicide that was produced by the sheriff's office, we know that we have a problem with violent crime in this community with the male population between the ages as young as 14 and as old as 24. That's why I was a proud supporter of the Commission on the Status of Boys and Men. I am so excited that Royal King is the executive director. As of this morning, I met with the deputy sheriff, the deputy city manager, Royal King as executive director on the commission to talk about how we can move forward. Because I am your mayor that recognizes that in order to have great sustainable programs, we need to make sure that we properly budget. I was the one that brought up at our budget workshop that we need to set aside $1 million a year for the next 5 years so that not only can we find and identify the appropriate programs that can help us with gun violence in our community, but they're properly funded and they're funded at least over a 5-year program. So we have the money set aside. We're working with the commission and with the county and with the school district to put together that program using our local resources that are going to help us specifically when gun violence interruption programs on the streets of Tallahassee. And I know because we've got great providers, we got great men and women that are working day in and day out in this space, that when we all collaborate, when we bring everyone together, when we streamline our services and we're all heading in the right direction, we're definitely going to make a positive impact. Again, my role as the mayor is to make sure that we have the appropriate funding to be able to move forward in a sustainable way.
Right. So I'm going to circle back to that, but because there's a little bit of feedback and a little bit of a delay, we do have some questions around what you spoke about earlier. So I
Sure.
want to address that before we get too far down the road. So Terrell wants to know, with some of the job creation occurring on the outer parts of Tallahassee, such as Amazon, warehouse, and fulfillment center, what are we doing to expand public transportation to ensure that our neighbors in LMI neighborhoods have access to these jobs?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. Number one is the investment in the infrastructure to make sure that as we move forward, we have the super stops so that as we move people on mass transit, we're properly prepared. And I'm a strong supporter of the Blueprint budget that we passed. I'm the only candidate that supported Blueprint, which represented over $270 million worth of infrastructure investment south of Tennessee Street, including the super stop on Orange Avenue. And of course, we are working with Amazon to make sure we have the proper infrastructure out at the facility itself so that we can reroute our Star Metro system and make sure people have accurate and reliable transportation to and from work. It's a bigger question as well about the growth of Tallahassee. And as we do grow, making sure that we have the expanded urban services boundary so that we can properly, in a sustainable motion, be able to provide water and city sewer instead of septic and wells, make sure that we have sidewalks, make sure that we have proper infrastructure and mass transit. It all goes together. So rest assured, the city is working hand in hand. We work with the county, we work with the private industry, in this case, Amazon. And then specifically when it comes to public transportation, absolutely. We're working to make sure that everything's in place. And when they open their doors, we're ready to go.
All right, very good. So Serenity has a question around us selling our public utilities to FPNL. So there's some concern there. Any thoughts on that?
No, absolutely not. We're not selling the number one public utility in the nation. We produce more solar electricity than any city in the United States per capita, but one. That's Honolulu, Hawaii. We are truly leaders in the solar industry. In fact, did you know, Nicole, that we run the entire municipal complex, City Hall, every municipal building, fire stations, police stations, all of our pools, our rec centers, they're all run off of solar electricity. We're the only city in the United States that runs an all-electric bus fleet on the university campuses, and the infrastructure is powered by solar. So you can make the argument that we run an entire bus fleet, electric bus fleet, off of solar electricity. We've reduced our emissions by 93% in the past 30 years. If we were a small country, we would have surpassed the Kyoto Protocol and the Paris Accord before any country ratified it. My point is, we're true environmental leaders, and we're the number one public utility in the nation. It is a revenue generator for the city of Tallahassee, but at the same time, we are able to provide our utilities, specifically electricity, with one of the lowest rates in the state of Florida. In fact, we get people that call us all the time and say, "Hey, Dailey, how do you do this? This is absolutely phenomenal." And I give full credit to the team, the great men and women that work for the electric utility. So the short answer to the question is no. Unfortunately, during the campaign season, you get manufactured issues that come up. This happened to be one of them. There is no interest whatsoever. And this is one thing I think all of us that currently sit on the city commission all agree and have publicly stated, yeah, absolutely not. We're not selling the public utility. It's never even crossed our mind.
All right. We got JD Floyd on. He says, do we have any programs that assist residents in converting to solar?
Yeah, JD, that is a great question. And that is one thing that I want to concentrate moving forward. So right now, we've got an incredible rebate program that concentrates on natural gas. All right. So if you want to switch your if you want to switch like your range and your oven to a natural gas range and oven, yeah, we got a great rebate program that allows you to do so. If you want to switch your washer and dryer over to natural gas, we got a great rebate program that allows you to do that. What we don't have is a great rebate program that deals with solar electricity. If you want to install solar panels, yeah, you should be able to get a great rebate from the city of Tallahassee to do so. If you want to install an EV station to recharge your car at night, because we know that 80% of all electric vehicle owners charge at home overnight, we should encourage a rebate program that also encourages to move in that direction for the industry. So when I get reelected, I look forward to bringing forward before the city commission an EV rebate, solar rebate program. Now, I can't take full credit for this, Nicole. We've actually been working on this for about the past year. In fact, the city manager, one of our agenda items at the last city commission meeting before we went on recess, gave us a full update on our EV program and how we're moving forward. And so we are working on these issues, but JD is absolutely right. We should have a rebate program for solar and concentrate on electric vehicle charging stations and all the new 21st century technology, not just natural gas. I agree with them.
Okay, good deal. So mental health is something that's near and dear to my heart. I know you are aware that I'm serving as a behavioral health navigator, connecting folks with mental health and substance abuse resources. Talk to me about what the city is currently doing, and if you have any thoughts or ideas around some future things that we can do to help mitigate some of the mental health issues.
Well, Nicole, I am a huge advocate for mental health services. I'm a true believer that everyone individually is dealing with mental health, is related to someone dealing with a mental health issue, or knows someone who is dealing with a mental health issue. But unfortunately, we have to change the conversation in society because it seems to be taboo that we talk about these things. Full disclosure, I have served on the board of directors of the Appalachia Center, which is the largest mental health hospital in Tallahassee, for over a decade. These issues are very passionate to me. And that's why, as we came over the crest of COVID, and let me be clear, we are by no way are we clear of COVID. We are still dealing with it as a society. But as we came over the crest and we got out of the lockdown, I realized real quick that we have a desperate need for mental health services in our community. So we went to the city commission and we went to staff and said, we need to create a program where we take mental health services for free to the people of Tallahassee. Because we also know that transportation can be a barrier to services sometimes. So, Nicole, as you know, we have provided free mental health in the city of Tallahassee. Help me. I can't think of another city in the state of Florida that provides free mental health services to their residents. And we do it at our community centers, where any resident can walk in and receive up to 3 free mental health sessions. And during those sessions, we help you with a licensed and trained professional, and we help individuals get back on their feet, move in the right direction, and identify additional resources. But that also takes pre-planning. And Nicole, we also realize that sometimes you might be in a time of crisis like that. That is why we created the TEAM, which is an acronym for Tallahassee Emergency Assessment Mobile Unit. So you can call 911 right now with a mental health crisis. And the team that's going to respond is going to be a 3-person team. And the first person is going to be a licensed and trained mental health professional who is there to help you through that crisis immediately. Number 2, we're going to have a paramedic, just in case there is a physical health need as well. And in the third position will be a law enforcement officer that will be not in uniform. Because we also know that sometimes when you're dealing with a mental health crisis, a uniformed officer could serve as a trigger, and we don't want to encourage that. We have had tremendous success. During the pilot program alone, I believe that we were able to assess and help over 60,000 of our neighbors through calls. And so right now, the city commission is planning on expanding the program, making it 24/7. The sheriff's office has also created their own program out in the unincorporated areas, which is fabulous, and it complements what we're doing within the city limits. So I am proud of where we are. We have provided free mental health services to the citizens of Tallahassee in the neighborhoods. I am proud of the mobile response unit. But Nicole, as you know, and let me be very clear, we still have a lot of work to do. We are not finished, and we need to continue to create these incredible ideas and programs to help the citizens of Tallahassee.
Okay, very good. So again, for those who may be just joining us, I've been talking with Mayor of the City of Tallahassee, Mayor John Dailey. And we
Come on, you say that like it's such a big deal. Come on, I'm just John. You know that, Nicole.
I know, but it's all good. We got to respect the position,
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yes. So, Mayor, tell folks, because you're the incumbent, and of course, your the folks that are also candidates for this position are talking about why you should not be reelected. So tell us why you should be reelected.
Sure. And I understand the difficult position that candidates are in. And I want you to know, Nicole, whether it's my race or any race, believe it or not, with all the fodder and everything going on, I truly have the utmost respect for anyone that's willing to step up to the plate, put their name in the hat, and run for office. It is an honor to serve, and I do respect anybody that's willing to step up, because you open up your life, and it's a tough road to hoe to get elected. But one thing I want to remind the citizens of Tallahassee, 3.5 years ago, I stood before you and asked for the opportunity to serve as mayor. And we talked about quality of life issues. We talked about what's important to us. We talked about how to move Tallahassee forward. 1 year into my first term, and we're faced with a 100-year global pandemic where everybody expects you to be an expert and epidemiologist overnight. We had protests in the streets on social injustice issues that we have to address as a society. We've had 3 tornadoes touch down in Tallahassee in the past 3.5 years. We've had a recession. I can go on and on and on. But Nicole, there's been one constant, and that is your leadership in the mayor's office. You can count on me to continuously be there for the citizens of Tallahassee and to continue to work with everyone to move this city forward. And I'm proud to sit here 4 years later, despite everything that we've been through. And again, to remind you, we've been named one of the top 10 communities in the Southeastern United States, one of the top 10 college towns of the Southeastern United States, one of the strongest economies, but yet one of the most open and caring cities in the United States. We are doing a lot of great things, but there's so much more work to be done. I'm passionate about this job. I'm passionate about this community, and I am looking forward to serving and continue to provide that strong, steady leadership in the mayor's office for the city of Tallahassee.
Okay. So we got 2 more questions. Can you give us a few more minutes?
Oh, yeah. No, I'm on your schedule.
Okay, cool. All right. So we have Miss Self-Love, which is Miss Trisha Burton. She said, we really appreciate you signing 2 proclamations this year geared towards Black maternal health. One in April to recognize Black Maternal Health Week, and most recently, Black Breastfeeding Week. Melanin Mothers Week was recognized both times to accept it from the city of Tallahassee. What do you plan to do moving forward to continue to support the Black infant and maternal mortality crisis that's in the Leon County area?
Well, this is a great question. And the simple answer, to be honest with you, is I don't know. What are the next steps? I want to remind you that when we get elected, we're elected lay people. We're not necessarily experts in every single field. Now, I can say that one of the things that I'm proud of is we have been tearing down the silos of what governments traditionally should do. And quite frankly, COVID has helped us do that. Let me give you an example. So, Nicole, by the Constitution of the state of Florida, the county government actually is the local government that is responsible for the delivery of health care and mental health care on the local level. But I don't believe that it's just the county's responsibility. It's the city's responsibility. It's the school board's responsibility. So this is a prime example that we need to tear down those silos. It would be very easy to sit back and say, well, I will support the county in all their efforts and what they need to do. But what we saw through COVID is, we all have a role to play. And it's our opportunity to partner up with the private sector, the nonprofit sector, and the other governmental entities to make sure that we're heading in the right direction. This is a prime example where I don't have all the answers. But as mayor, I'm going to help identify all the resources. I'm going to listen, and we're going to make sure that we put a plan in place so that we can move this community forward. So this is where it's important, and I take great pride of being easily accessible, and that it's very important for us to sit down and continue to work together. And Nicole, if I could, my email address is mayor@talgov.com, mayor@talgov.com, and my cell phone is 850-766-3010. And I will continue to be as accessible as possible.
All right, hold on. Let me ask you that number again. Put it in the chat though so folks can get it. And give me your number one more time. Your number one more time.
My email address is mayor@talgov.com, and my cell phone is 850-766-3010.
Got it. So I'm putting it in the chat so folks can see it.
Perfect.
Cool.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
All right. So she responded, that's honest. Thank you.
Sure.
All right. So we will have another question by JD. He said, what's the best site or platform to identify COVID and local relief assistance programs for residents and businesses? So I don't know if the city is still doing any of that, but I guess if you could speak to that.
Right. So what is the best site or platform to identify COVID and local relief assistance programs for residents and businesses? Okay. First and foremost, let me give full credit to the #1 HBCU in the nation that is right here in our backyard, because FAMU is nationally recognized and should be nationally recognized as a leader in our community for both COVID testing and for COVID vaccination. And to watch what President Robinson and his team did, partnering up with the city and with the county and the public health department to make sure that the residents and citizens of Tallahassee had a place to go that was open, available, and safe, was amazing. So first and foremost, When it comes to actual information and up-to-date information on COVID, I would check with the public health department. I would check with the hospitals on their websites, but I would also check in with FAMU and their department that was doing the execution of the vaccinations and the testing. Now, when it comes to business relief, this is another way where I played a very significant role, and I'm very proud of the role that I played in helping our businesses. If you remember back, Nicole, when we were on shutdown, I actually had a press conference in my front yard, and I called on the Intergovernmental Agency to come to the table virtually and to create a grant program, not a loan program, but a grant program specifically to help small businesses. And we came together and we did that. I am the only candidate running for mayor who actually voted in support of that program. As a result, we literally handed out hundreds of thousands of dollars in relief to small, medium, large businesses in our communities. For many, it kept people on the payroll. For many, it allowed them to keep their doors open. It wasn't a loan program, it was a grant program. We did that through the Office of Economic Vitality. So, Nicole, I will close out this question and say, from the business standpoint of what programs are still available, I would contact the Office of Economic Vitality, and they can give you the most up-to-date list of all of the programs that are still available.
Okay, very good. All right. Well, we are going to wrap this conversation up, but I want to, first of all, thank you for your time.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
And I want you to also tell us what your needs are as it relates to this campaign and what is the way that the viewers can connect with you as it relates to your campaign.
Sure. JohnDaileyForMayor.com. That's the best way to get a hold of me. JohnDaileyForMayor.com. Nicole, if I can, little selfish plug here. A lot of people have been asking, hey, next Tuesday night, what you doing? Are you throwing a party? Where are you going to be? I am proud to say no party in the Dailey family because Tommy Dailey, my 8th grader, just made the starting center on the Raw Middle School football team. His first game, Nicole, is next Tuesday night, 7 o'clock. We're going to put politics aside, and I sat the family down. In the Dailey family comes first. So we will be on the sideline. Well, we'll be in the stands, not on the sidelines, but we'll be there cheering my son Tommy Dailey on as he makes his debut as the center for Raw Middle School. I am a proud dad. Go Rams. And that's what we're doing election night.
All right. Cool. Now, you do have an event coming up on Saturday, don't you?
Oh, we do. We're going to be down in the Bond neighborhood. We got DJ Demp that's going to be playing some music for us, and we're going to have some hot dogs down there and some lunch. It's going to be great. It's at the Linear Park, right there in the heart of Bond. Come on out. Free food, good music. It's going to be a good day. We expect a incredible Marcus. I see Marcus. Marcus posted Go Rams. His son and my son go to school together. That's awesome.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, we're gonna have a great event on Saturday. So I encourage everybody to come on out. Let's hang out. Let's have some fun. Come ask me anything you want. Get involved with the campaign. And that's the best part about Tallahassee. Nicole, we got great neighborhoods. People come together, and it's going to be a great event.
Indeed. Well, again, thank you for your time. Thank you, viewers, for your conversation, for engaging with the mayor. And, check out his website, to keep up with what he has going on. Early voting is going on currently. All right. I think
that's right. Everybody get out and vote.
Yep. And then election day is on Tuesday. So we'll see you at the finish line.
Wow. I have made it to the next level because I've been on Conversations with Nicole. I'm telling you, I got credibility now.
You got credibility now.
Nicole, thank you so much.
My pleasure. Y'all, thank y'all. And get out there and vote, please. Please. Your vote is your voice.
Very
all right.
important.
We'll see y'all next time.
All right. Bye-bye.